Joining us now with more on the name change is Chris Creamer, author of Fabric of the Game, the stories behind the NHL's names, logos, and uniforms, and he is with SportsLogos.Net. Chris, thanks so much for joining us. Really excited to get your take on this. What did you think of the name, the logo, the look?
Thanks, Lena. The first time I saw the name, I thought, I don't want to use the term minor league because that's not quite too fair. It's just a name that's a little unusual and unique for the major league level. I think what the team did here was they really listened to their fans. They studied social media, they looked at Twitter, Facebook, and they saw that this name Kraken was really striking it with their fans, and they took that into major consideration. My first thought hearing it after, that minor league thought was that this unique name is something that Seattle can own. Nobody else is going to call themselves the Kraken. When you hear the name Kraken, you're going to think of Seattle hockey right away. And a logo that I think is just designed so well with the hidden elements of the tentacle hidden right in the S and the calligraphy style S. Everything, it just sort of hit every single mark.
Right, and that leads me to my next question. We need this to be related to the sea. What did you think the inspiration was here?
Well, the fact that Seattle's up in the Pacific Northwest and they have such the culture, the mariner culture, the maritime culture. They even said that the striping on the jersey was based on the paint on the ferries that are in Seattle. So they really tapped into the city's roots and the history and the architecture and just everything about the Pacific Northwest and what it's like living in Seattle.
I know they really took their time with this and consulted with fans in that city. Did you personally like the logo?
Yeah, I did like it. You never know what you're going to get with a new expansion team here in 2020, but I felt they really hit it out of the park, to borrow a phrase from another sport. But hiding in the tentacle in there, keeping a little bit of mystique and mystery with the fact that, Kraken is supposed to be a mysterious creature, and that little eye that they hit into the crook of the S, I think they really did a good job. And then there's also the secondary mark they're wearing on their shoulder, which is a combination of an anchor and the Seattle Space Needle. Just well done.
I want to get your thoughts on the uniform, Chris. 3 types of blue with a splash of red. What do you think of that?
Well, when you're naming yourself after something in the sea and the ocean, you need to use blue. And when you're also trying to be unique and stand out, blue is a tough way to do it. 16 of the 31 NHL teams use blue in some way. So how do you stand out using a color that half the league uses? And that is to use 3 different shades of blue. And it really sort of gives you the sense that you're descending deeper into that mysterious sea with the light blue at the top, and then it gets darker and darker the lower it gets. Again, it really plays up this theme that the Kraken is a mysterious deep water creature. You really don't know a lot about it, and it also plays up the local ties to Seattle.
Right. We heard about this over the noon hour. What's the reaction been like so far?
Almost universal praise, which is very rare for a new name. Now, when I was researching this book, we talked about, we looked at a lot of the origins for names, and what you could see with almost every single team name that's been released is that fans typically hate it the first time they hear it, and they sort of grow to love it over the years as they, form a bond with these teams. With the Kraken, it's completely different. When this name came out, almost everybody I talked to loved it. All the reaction from social media on Twitter I got was just saying how much they love this name, and they're so glad that Seattle used this name. And yeah, so they're right off on the right track right from day one.
Okay, Chris Creamer, thanks so much for joining us. Great to have you on.
Thank you very much.